Hey guys, it's TB here. So last night I was thinking about the new Ruin DLC for Security Breach. I came up with this idea of making a bingo card of all my speculations and theories that I have about the upcoming DLC and what I think will happen. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I made this really cool looking bingo card. As you can see, I took the design from the poster and kind of applied it to this 5x5 grid. The middle square is of course a free space, as it normally is in bingo, which will help me get some extra points. So yeah, this video will basically be me breaking down my own theories and speculations about this game. My own speculations may not be 100% correct, but they are my opinion on what I think could happen in the game. You are free to have your own and leave them down below. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. This first square I chose, by the way, I'm choosing these squares randomly. I chose to put the exterior of the Pizzaplex in this square. So yes, I think that the DLC, it's about time that we are shown the outside of the Mega Pizzaplex. Either it's burning or it's already been destroyed following the collapse after the true ending. Whether this be in a newspaper / comic strip or 3D graphics will depend. However, I would personally love to see this rendered in 3D as a part of the opening or ending cutscene of the Ruin DLC. And for number 2, this DLC is shaping up to be focusing on Gregory, as he's shown in the monitors on the poster, so I think it would be a surprise to me if we didn't learn anything new about his backstory or character. I think this DLC will solidify once and for all whether Gregory is an animatronic or not. Numerous evidence already suggests this, like the fuzzing of your screen like an old TV when Vanny approaches you, the fact that the first aid scene was cut and you never see Gregory's physical injuries despite him having band-aids on his face. The poster also reinforces this through Gregory positioned on a computer screen. The words "help me" look as though he's communicating with a new protagonist and likely trapped inside a computer system of some kind. I also think he is not physically trapped, as he was meant to have already physically escaped the Pizzaplex after the true ending, but perhaps some conscious of him may be stuck in the computer systems at the Pizzaplex. This may seem really crazy and out there, but it's an idea that I had. Alright, for number 3, Survival Mode. FNAF Security Breach Survival Mode will be released alongside or as a part of this free DLC. It was already found within the game's files by fans, but it was never officially released. I think this would be the perfect opportunity for Steelwool Studios to incorporate Survival Mode into the DLC. Alright, for this 4th square, this more and a picture of Vanny, let me just explain. So, I think there will be more Vanny / Vanessa in this DLC than there is in the base game. She was meant to be a foreboding and ominous character who I was looking forward to seeing be portrayed as the villain. However, she was sidelined due to Burntrap, the Blob, and many other antagonists who outweigh her in terms of threat level. So yes, Vanessa / Vanny will play a much larger role in this DLC than the base game. After the Pizzaplex is destroyed, along with Burntrap, who it looks like dies, although Afton always seems to come back, Vanessa and Vanny, whether a single entity or 2 people, we'll get to that later, will be lifted from his control. The protagonist being a female in this DLC, the girl we see on the poster, would also have a lot in common with Vanessa, which could lead to some interesting interactions between them, which is why I definitely think that she will play a much larger role in this DLC. Vanny was supposed to be a large part of the survival mode, so she may play a large role there as well if the survival mode is also released, as I put on the other bingo square. Alright, for number 5 we got them shoes, man. No, so the shoes are kind of a wild guess, but they're, as you can see, Roxanne Wolf themed. The colors pink and red. So I think this may be a gameplay mechanic or something larger to the story. It's a subtle yet key aspect of this character, who we don't really know anything about so far. However, it's easy to guess from the color of these shoes that she's a fan of Roxanne Wolf. This is a defining feature of the character and is pretty much the first thing we know about her. These shoes may make noise or lights which can attract animatronics to you, or the other way around and the shoes actually repel the animatronics in some way. Perhaps with Roxanne they'll prevent her from attacking you since she knows you are a fan. Alright, so for this next square I put answered with Vanny and Vanessa. So yes, the Vanny/Vanessa confusing situation, we don't know if they are really one or two characters, will finally, hopefully, be cleared up in this DLC, as MatPat and many other theorists have been arguing over this. However, I myself largely think they are meant to be one character. The only aspect of the game which mainly alludes to them being two separate entities is the fire ending, in which we see Vanessa on the roof after Vanny is unmasked. I think this was just a representation of Vanessa's conscience being left behind rather than them being two separate characters, but I still hope he still will clears this up along with giving her a more prominent role in the series. Alright, so for the 7th square I've just put flashlight. From this opening poster you can see everything is shrouded in darkness, so I think flashlights will play a much larger role in the DLC as well in terms of gameplay mechanics. The entire Pizzaplex, or most of it, would realistically be in darkness after it started to collapse in the Springtrap ending. Power would fail, and the entire building would crumble. The fact that the teaser image is so dark is also hinting at this as well. I think flashlight recharging could function differently, depending on if the recharge stations are still available or not. I don't think they will be though. But I think getting your flashlight recharged will be far more important as the game will be a lot darker. And we can already see this from this poster, with many people having to brighten it up to see more details clearly. And for number 8, I have Patient 46. Yes, the unknown person from the tape recordings in the base game, who is being interviewed for the Pizzaplex, or by, therapy at the Pizzaplex, is still a mysterious individual who no one knows. I personally have no idea who this character is supposed to be. It could be this girl shown on the poster, however I don't think so. The individual sounds like an employee at the Pizzaplex from the recordings, so I doubt it's this girl we see on the poster here. But whoever they are, I think they will definitely be revealed, and a lot more of that will be cleared up, or could be cleared up, in this DLC if Steelwool decides to. Or maybe they'll leave it open-ended, perhaps for another DLC, I don't know. But I think at some point they've got to reveal who this Patient 46 is supposed to be, and what better time to do it than this with this DLC. And for number 9, I've just put comic strip with cross through it. Yes, so no more comic strip animations. I think Steelwool would have noticed the backlash from not having these fully animated cutscenes in the main game by now, and hopefully will be working to make all the cutscenes be 3D for the Ruined DLC. But maybe I'm just setting my hopes a little too high. Well, I guess we'll have to see come 2023. Okay, so for number 10, I put floods. Okay, so don't mind this giant wave image on my bingo card. The actual idea of this was to just think about how the Pizzaplex will be dealing with the aftermath of the true ending. Some areas of the game will be flooded, like pipes in the sewers which have bursted and filled parts of the Pizzaplex. It might be swimming or wading through water, although I think this could be used just to block off some areas of the Pizzaplex where you're not allowed to go to. But yes, I do think that there'll definitely be some sewer pipes or pipes above ground which have bursted and are now leaking water, creating puddles of water that you perhaps need to wade through. I also think the fact that floods are an aquatic themed idea links back to the Chico Chowder poster initially released as this DLC's teaser, as that DLC teaser has not been linked to anything else so far. Alright, so at number 11, I have new collectibles. What better form for these collectibles than destroyed Pizzaplex merchandise? You could perhaps find these lying around areas of the Pizzaplex, and these would obviously be new collectibles we haven't seen before. For my 12th prediction, I've got Moondrop. Mainly because I think he's the one that we see on the poster image. Those red eyes going from the corner are spread out a bit, and that must be his round face hiding in the corner. I don't know who else it could be, unless it's a completely new character they haven't introduced yet. So that's why I've got Moondrop on here. He might be a mini-boss, or just appear in the game. Alright, so for number 13, I think this is an interesting one. I think that police officers may patrol the Pizzaplex following this collapse. Think about it, the entire place would be in ruin. Freddy literally shuts down while making a performance in the beginning of the game, so that means that obviously the Pizzaplex was open before the main game. So if it was right open and then the day after the entire thing is collapsed, I don't understand why there wouldn't be a police presence. Although it is Five Nights at Freddy's, so it may not make sense. But for it to make sense, I think there at least needs to be a police presence at the Pizzaplex, either in or out. So either there's police cars outside the Pizzaplex, perhaps showing up to investigate after everything has happened, or police officers patrolling the building, which will replace the staff bots which normally patrol. and the staff bots would probably be damaged and likely needing of repairs, so while they're off duty, the police are taking their place. Yes, for number 14, I've got a flashback scene, and of course, who better than Glamrock Bonnie to reveal in a flashback scene? I think everyone's waiting for it now. They've already mentioned in-game that Glamrock Bonnie was replaced by Monty after Monty likely decommissioned Bonnie to take his place, and many fans have already made their own renditions of the character, so it'll be interesting to see Stillwell's official take on the character, and I think it would be just a great reveal for a flashback that many fans would like to see. Why do I think there will be a flashback scenes? Well, this girl looks as though she has already visited the Pizzaplex as a customer before, indicated by her shoes, which are likely Roxanne Wolf merchandise, as I've said previously. So she could have memories of this place operating from long ago, which may be explored in the DLC. However, I have a feeling deep down that the reason they haven't done any flashbacks yet is because they're saving them for another DLC, which will take place in the past. But that's for a different video. Anyway, so let's continue on. Alright, at speculation number 15, I've got more pixelated / arcade minigames, like Princess Quest. Even if areas of the Pizzaplex did collapse, as it seems to be decrepit and in ruins, then perhaps some of the arcade machines are still operational and we'll be able to interact with different machines previously unusable in the gameplay. I know we had the Balloon World minigame and Princess Quest. I'd like to see a lot more of those arcade games functional in this DLC, although I'm not sure if it would make sense with the title Ruin. At speculation number 16, we've got a different version of the Fazwatch, a new Fazwatch. So the idea with this is that because of her shoes telling us she likes Roxanne Wolf, I thought she would have a Roxanne Wolf type of Fazwatch. And I've already found some unique fan designs like the one you see here. I think it would just make sense for the character based on her interests, as well as the fact that the Fazwatch was where you access your missions, the cameras, and lots of other features in the original game, and I'm not sure how they will replace that menu in this DLC, so that could be a very creative way of doing it. Alright, so if we look back at the Security Breach endings of the base game, Vanessa only escapes in I believe one of the endings, where she then sits on the grass eating ice cream with Freddy and Gregory. I think it would be awesome if we saw her escape in this DLC, especially if she is tied to our new female protagonist, the girl on the poster. It would make sense that she escapes the Pizzaplex after being released from Glitchtrap / Afton's control. She survives and is no longer Vanny. That's what this speculation is. Alright, so you may be thinking, Timmy, this is insane. Why are you saying Gregory's gonna die, man? Like, that's so unlikely for a main character to be killed off, and I know. But I think it's the dark turn that this game might need for Stillwell to bring it back. I think lots of people, for this game especially, were saying that it's not scary, pretty much at all, compared to the original games. And they even cut out the first aid scene where Gregory is supposedly bleeding due to it because they wanted to get a lower rating, even though it's still T for teen, I believe, in America. But anyway, yeah, so this is what I think will happen. I think Gregory will die in some way. So firstly, it's not that I want Gregory to die. However, if I was going off my earlier prediction that Gregory will be revealed to be an animatronic, then his death will likely occur after he sacrifices himself to Glitchtrap virtually, or somehow stopping the blob. Whatever sacrifice he makes, I think it will be for this new girl protagonist to escape, possibly, and that is why I have this bingo space here. Is this a dumb prediction? But it's my channel, so I'm going to say what I want. Alright, so at number 19, we have new security bot variations. Perhaps different designs are used during Pizzaplex lockdowns. Maybe we'll see some construction bots reconstructing areas of the Pizzaplex. A new construction or lockdown design for the bots could be similar to what is seen on the cover of a Tales from the Pizzaplex book titled Haps, as shown on this bingo card. Having these types of robots be in the game would also be a nice connection between the game and the book series. But this bingo square also counts for any new bots that could be added to the game that weren't previously in the game. This may also include the magician bot who was cut as part of the unused content for the base game. We might see him in this DLC. And at number 20, I have Music Man. DJ Music Man will return, likely in a damaged state, as this will fit the Ruin theme very well. I think the fact that Steel will like the character so much that they put not one little Music Man, but another giant Music Man into the game, means they would totally be interested in designing a more damaged and horrific version of this already creepy animatronic. I think it would be just so much more disturbing if he was more crooked and destroyed. Just imagine Music Man with half the face and a creepy glowing red eye, and I think you'll get what I mean. Okay, next up at number 21 is the Blob returning. The The blob could be coming back and could be better explained. The blob is hinted out on the poster for this DLC through cables just visible in the corner. I don't know who else this could be except the blob, so I think that's what they're going for. I am honestly not a fan of the blob in general. It just seems a bit lazy to put all these wiring together and old animatronics and call it a new villain. But anyway, after the true ending, it could be free to roam the Pizzaplex now looking for you, as the basement where Afton and the blob were staying at was destroyed and collapsed. The blob could have moved out from the crater and up into the Pizzaplex. I wouldn't be surprised if its tentacles were roaming around the holes in this DLC. Okay, for this next one, it feels like I'm reaching for straws, but hear me out. What if Gregory and this new female protagonist we see on the poster here were linked in some way, either as relatives or perhaps the fact that they are both missing children without families? This prediction comes from the fact that when the new DLC poster is brightened with increased exposure, as many other YouTubers have done, both the images of Gregory on the screen and the girl are both in black and white, missing color, when they still chose to color the girl's bright pink and red shoes. This could be a deliberate attempt to connect the two in some way. So I definitely think they will want to explore this type of connection in the DLC. Alright, so this one may seem a bit vague, but yes, the missing children. During the worst possible ending you can get, where Gregory is on the street with this newspaper, shows all the missing children listed. I think these missing children will at least be mentioned some more in this Ruin DLC. I don't know what happened to them, but I think we all know that they died. Especially if it turns out that the girl from the poster is one of them, it would be nice to know what happened to these children and why they were taken in the first place. Alright, so being honest with you, by this point I was up to my 24th guess at what might happen in the Ruin DLC. So I got a bit tired, but I think finally, let's just go crazy for this last one. El Chip returns, baby! As the El Chip's restaurant is located on the top floor of the atrium and we never saw him in the main game. It could be in a flashback, or be a damaged animatronic that chases you through the Pizzaplex. Why else would they put in an El Chip's restaurant if they weren't planning to add him at some point? He even has a theme, his own soundtrack, and it's awesome too. Anyways, I've finished making my predictions. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking with me. Please let me know what you think will happen in the Ruin DLC down below. And while you're here, why not like and subscribe, so you can see whether or not I scored anything on my bingo card closer to it next year, as well as my regular Security Breach content that will be posted throughout this year. Peace out. By the way guys, you see what I did there with the free space? Free space? See you next time.